Okay, shall we resume? Okay, thank you. So, I was showing one example with Hugging Face. So, if you see here with this open source model, there are some characters which comes, that's because predominantly, when this DeepSeek model was trained by the Chinese, some sort of a penetration of Chinese characters would have also got into it. So the model that you use is based on the training that it has gone to. What is training? Training is a process where you give the model the data, the language, the information, and create some pattern by which it can learn effectively and efficiently. A real-time example is today among the people who are sitting here, if you are to read a chapter or a book, you have your own way of learning. Few people would like to learn the entire book in one shot. Few people would want to take page after page. Few people, once you are done learning, would want to take a break, come back and resume. Few people like me want to revise a content or a chapter 2-3 times to really understand what has gone into it, right? So you have a purpose and you have a methodology to learn. Purpose is what? If you want to quickly finish the chapter and just want to browse through the topics at a high level, you can browse through it. If you want to really get deep into the chapter, you might have to revise it 2-3 times. You want to go deep into the chapter, but you don't have too much time. So you probably want to learn something slowly rather than rushing through the sentences. So based on your purpose, you learn. And then methodology, right? Methodology, there are different techniques that these guys call today, which is spaced intervention, interleaved learning. And then immediately after you study, you create some 4-5 questions, try to revise those 4-5 questions and then go to the next chapter. Some people draw, some people take notes, some people highlight the important words and try to connect them visually, right? The fancy word that today's generation uses is called as mind map, and they have a software and an application where you create all these word bubbles and create that bubble one after the other and create some notes. This is something which I think we all have traditionally done on paper, and we've been very used to it, right? So the purpose and the methodology is very important, and association of the information is also equally important. Sometimes some people want to associate information with your known examples, or sometimes you want to associate information with another related example from the same chapter, or an example which is outside the chapter, right? So for example, if it is gravitation, you want to associate with Apple, Newton, so immediately recollect, etc., etc. So how do you want to associate the information in your head? You have your own pattern so that you can retrieve the information. Few people want to just dump the information in, and when they want to recollect, it just comes out like that. But few people want to relate one topic to another, to a topic another, so that when you think through it, okay, after this topic is done, I am supposed to go to the second topic or second content. After that is done, I go to the third. So that is a way by which you store the information in terms of intelligence, so that you can access it back. You're storing the information and accessing the information is very closely connected. If you have stored the information one after the other in a sequential manner, like point number 1, point number 2, point number 3, once those points are there, you will write 10-20 lines below that, right? So if that is how you have stored the information, but when you are accessing the information, if you are not going point 1, 2, 3, rather you are trying to access the information by a different methodology, you will not be able to retrieve it. Likewise, you have a bookshelf. You want to store your books. Now, when you know that you have stored your books in the library in this section, this pattern, this alphabetical order, then retrieval is very easy. But if you have just jumbled it across, and then if you are trying to access it, then accessing pattern becomes very, very tough. So why am I all saying this? All this concept is connected to RAG. That is why it is called as information retrieval systems. And why you need information? For the LLMs to respond with more context and with more accuracy. Again, that does not guarantee factuality. These generative AI systems never guarantees any sort of a factuality, and no one really steps up to that. Okay. Now I'll again connect these concepts, given that we just have, I think, hour and a half more roughly. Probably I might extend 10-15 minutes, but we'll try to cover the major concepts. Now, excuse me. We've taken the DeepSeek model on Hugging Face chat and we started using it. We saw what the reasoning is, how it is thinking, how this can help us think better, right? So that is something which you can use. The DeepSeek model itself is directly available on a platform. So there you loaded the DeepSeek model. How did you load? The moment you open it, you have a DeepSeek model here, right? If you want to use different models, there are few different models which they have given. You first of all need to know what the model does, right? So for that information, for example, if you go to something like okay, we'll go to Llama. Okay, this Llama model is from Meta, Facebook company. Okay, so if you want to access that model, know about that model, just click on that model. And then there is something called as model page, model website. You can directly go to model page. When you go to model page, here you have information about the model. What is it? Like I said, the model has got training data, right? A new mix of publicly available online data. Whatever data that it was available on the web, these guys have taken it and used it and trained the model, because of which it is able to respond in a very, very natural manner. And so there is a model architecture given, so you don't really have to know about it right now. The major considerations of when you're choosing a model is what is that model good at, and what is the data that has gone into the training of the model. Only when you know this, you will know if you can use the model for your purpose, right? Because if you have, for example, in a kitchen, you have vegetables and meat. You will use a different knife for your vegetables, different knife for your meat. Similarly, when you're taking in a model, you need to know what is that model good at, right? Where you can probably use it. For that, you have something called as leaderboard. Leaderboard is a very common term. You can use this leaderboard with any other LLM, generative AI. You will get that information. For example, I'm saying LLM. LLM means what? Large language model, which is basically the model generating the text for us, using for applications like ChatGPT, powering up applications like generative AI, etc. Okay. Now, if you go to leaderboard, there is something called as open leaderboard from Hugging Face, LLM leaderboard from Vellum. Any one leaderboard you can probably take, and this looks like an archive. So I will not go to the archive. This says 2025. So latest information possibly is available over there. So I come to leaderboard. If you see here, there are some information given. Top model per task. Your model that you're trying to use is good at what task, right? Here it says best in reasoning. Reasoning is basically the thinking and the thought process that you saw in this Hugging Face model. If I'm going to come out of it, you saw the... Okay, this was an earlier example that I used in another demo. But you see this reasoning process, right? 94 seconds, it iterated and thought. So this leaderboard actually gives you that information. Best in reasoning. What are the best in reasoning models? I'll just zoom in a bit. Okay, now to some extent. When you zoom in a bit, if you see best in reasoning, this GPQA diamond, don't worry about all that. Okay, reasoning model. What is a reasoning model now? Gemini 2.4 model from Google. They are saying it is good. Grok 3. This model is from XAI, Tesla, Elon Musk model. OpenAI O3. This is from GPT. OpenAI O4 Mini. So here they have given you some examples. That is, what are the best in reasoning model? Best in high school math. What are the models good in math? Grok 3, OpenAI, Gemini. Then best in agentic coding. What model is good in coding? Claude, Opus, Claude model, OpenAI model. Some models are there. People are saying okay. And then best in tool use. Tools use will not go in because we have not covered here. Best in adaptive reasoning. 1 second. Okay, beyond that, it is asking me for sign up. Best in reasoning model. So this is what Vellum gives, right? Now, if you're going to something like Hugging Face, this says archived, so let us not go there. This looks to be fresh, so I will go here. Okay, so Open LLM, this hub organization maintaining the Open LLM leaderboard. So we can go here. Let us try to pick some models, and the space is loading up. So we'll just probably wait for it. While that loads, there is also something called as Chatbot Arena Leaderboard. We can probably click on that. That is also from Hugging Face. I hope this got loaded. No, it is taking longer. This is a mirror of the live leaderboard. New Arena leaderboard. Okay, this looks the source. So we will probably go to the source. And here people would have given, it's like, what is the basic overview here? In text-based models, people are rating Gemini as top model, and they have given some scores. So you can basically pick and choose. Our DeepSeek model is here, right? It says in web dev, this is rated one of the models in 9th place. GPT is in 7th place, something like that, okay? So, and what are vision models? Vision models are models good for images. Search models are better in doing the web search, like the tool that we enabled, doing web search, what model is best. A Copilot is Microsoft Copilot and the other apps which can help along with you. Text to image models, you give a text, is it able to generate an image? That is what this text to image model is all about. And then this is the overall overview. Overall, the 2.5 Pro, this is basically the best, and they have given some. So this is how you get to understand your models. What model is best in industry, what everybody is following or using, because these are time and tested. You will not have the time to test all the models and choose. Rather pick 2-3 models which is best, which is open sourced for you, and try to leverage those models for your advantage. And any data that you are using in Hugging Face will not be used to train any model. Like I said, this is an open source model, and you can definitely use it. DeepSeek, however, you'll have to be careful. This is a good reasoning model. So any generic academic content, you can definitely use DeepSeek. But if there is any proprietary content, I would recommend using Hugging Face Chat because this information for you to begin with stays with you. It does not get leaked anywhere. And then supported languages: English, German, French, Italian, Portuguese, Hindi is supported, Spanish and Thai. So these languages are supported. This is a static model trained on an offline data set. Intended use, is it commercially, you can use it commercially for academic